This is our most expensive helmet, so let me show you a few of the reasons why. One of the things about helmets that's most important to note is it's made out of a couple of pieces. The shell is something that everybody wants to know all about. But remember, the shell is only one of the main pieces in there. The styrene liner on the inside is the part that actually saves your life. I can't show you the styrene liner right now, so we'll talk about some of the other things. The shell material of the Domain 2 is a combination of carbon fiber, aramid, and Dyneema. All three very, very strong, very, very lightweight materials. That makes it, this is the lightest helmet that Icon manufactures. The other thing we've done is we put huge vents on the outside of this thing. Not only does that create a great ventilation system going through the whole thing, but it creates a dynamic look as well. A lot of people ask us what the spoiler on the top right there is for. Spoiler's there for a very specific reason. And guys, if you've ever ridden really, really fast, you know that one of the things that happens is you're not really too worried about whether your helmet is too heavy or not. It's more, is your helmet rising up too much? Helmet lift at high speed is very, very common. It happens to all helmets. It happens to because all the air that hits your body as you're riding rises up over your shoulders, hits the bottom of the helmet, and forces it up. And you can feel that pulling in the chin strap right here. This is the only helmet in the world with a spoiler on the top that's made to counteract some of that. It pushes down a little bit on the helmet. Not enough to shove the helmet down on top of your head, but enough to counteract some of that helmet lift that you get with everything else. All these big top vents on the outside there too. Some people ask, does that mean it's safe? Well, this still passes Snell and DOT, which are some of the toughest safety standards in the world. But remember this also, that in order for this shell to do its job correctly, in a harsh impact, these things are made to shatter on impact. So it does not change the safety ability of a helmet to put these things on the outside. As for that ventilation, there's 3 openings for it. You have 2 large scoops right here, very, very simple mechanisms that open and close it. There's one big central scoop right there, real simple mechanism that opens and closes that. Something else about this helmet. The Domain 1 has been around for quite a while. This is a Domain 2, a couple of minor changes, but important ones to note. You notice the side plate on the side right here. A lot of people look at that and they say, I don't want a helmet with a side plate on the side because it whistles, it makes noise. Others people's might. Ours does not. Watch this side plate right now. When I open and close this shield, you notice how the side plate actually rotates with the shield. It's attached onto the shield. It's attached virtually airtight onto that shield. There is no air gap for air to whistle through there. So you don't have that problem. And this is very easy to get back off there again. We put it on there to cover up what is the ugliest part of a helmet, which is the shield release mechanism. Here's a shield just like this shield that's on this one right here. Here's one of those panels, and to get those off, all you have to do is pop it off, and you can put it right back on again. You can see it's very simple to come off. When you put it back on again, though, you don't have to worry about it rattling around or falling off or flying off in the event of riding very fast. One of the other features that you see with all Icon helmets is there's a huge amount of padding on the inside. We take pride in the fact that our helmets actually have a relatively small head opening. But what that does is it means that it seals off, it seals out a lot of that wind noise, keeps it very, very comfortable. There's an enormous amount of padding that's in there. Also, this material that's on the inside right there that is right up against your skin is a wicking material. Helps pull that perspiration away, makes it much, much more comfortable. Another thing that it does also is if it does get real sweaty and you take your helmet off, and then you go back to go riding again half an hour later, it's not like putting a wet rag on top of your head because it dries 50% faster than the other material that we'd used in the past. Very, very good product. One of the other things, too, guys, you ever turn around and look behind you when you're riding? You don't just depend on the mirrors, but you turn around and look behind you. When you turn around and look behind you, a lot of times with other people's helmets, the shield will pop open. And that's because the air starts to come underneath and it pushes the shield open. We've created something called a Pro-Lock system, and that's this little chrome pin right there. Very, very simple to use. Well, every single time you close this shield, it automatically locks down because it slides over that pin. The air coming from underneath is not going to pop this shield open. Locks it down. Much, much, much safer that way. Comes in a wide variety of colors, a wide variety of graphics. In fact, every Domain 2 helmet has a printed interior. This one on this flat black color is just the brown. But if you look at all the other ones, they have an interior that somehow matches the exterior of the helmet. There's a skull pattern on the outside, there's a skull pattern printed on the inside. If you want to switch them out and you want to put a skull pattern in on this one, you want to put the digital camo out of our Devil Dog version into your flat black helmet, whatever you want to do, it is available. The other thing with all these pieces being very, very easy to come out means that you can wash them as well. Wash them real easily. And guys, ladies, if you are washing the interior of your helmet, please wash it in baby shampoo. Do not use laundry detergent. Laundry detergent always stays in there. When you go to wash those things out, it always leaves a little bit of detergent in there. And that means that when you sweat in it later on and it drips down into your eyes, that detergent stings your eyes. Baby shampoo, no more tears, doesn't sting your eyes. So wash it with baby shampoo. Last thing about the interior, all these pieces being removable also means that you can custom fit your helmet. There's 6 different thicknesses of cheek pads. If you buy a size large and it fits the top of your head correctly, but it's a little too tight or say a little bit too loose on your cheeks, you can buy these separately, get the fit that's exactly the way you want it. Very, very easy to do. Domain 2 helmet, fantastic product. Our lightest, our quietest, very, very good product.